So I was at Behr at the time, and the business had decided that they needed to detach an innovation function from the core of the business to try to get further ahead in the market and to work on things that were a little riskier and a little bit more difficult to define and understand. And with that, I knew that the internal gatekeeping structure was still fundamentally the same, and they were risk averse in the way that they were risk averse. So what was going to need to happen is as we develop these things that were further out, we would need to find a way to de-risk them prior to hitting that point of judgment. And I was looking for somebody that had experience in a world that I wasn't in, specifically around software and a mentality that went along with the rapid iterations that happen in that world versus what happens in a manufacturing world where you might have an 18 to 24-month development time. I think that working with you profoundly changed me and changed my working style. So for many, many years, people would talk about stage gate as the product development methodology for a manufacturing firm, and they would talk about things like agile as the way to develop software. And then the lean startup thing kind of happened around the time that you and I got to know each other. And that started to form a bridge to me that, okay, there's parts and pieces of the way software is done that can be applied to the way physical products are developed. And you helped me get that, and you helped me build that bridge that allowed a front end of innovation in a manufacturing firm to behave more like something that works at a pace 10 times faster. Yeah, I mean, I think that working with you, David, and Precoil um, did change everything about decision making and the way that it happened internal to that incubation or idea advancement team that I described was that we didn't have a decision making structure because it was a brand new entity. So there was nothing that said this is a good idea or it was a bad idea other than traditional research or instinct or history or hunches or gut feelings or all that other sort of stuff. And funding traditional research for the velocity that we wanted to work at was a complete non-starter. So inside the incubator, um, finding ways to connect with consumers more affordably than hiring traditional research firm to go out and do voice of customer sort of stuff for us, and enabling us to do more of that ourselves, even at a low level, hiring out the bigger stuff when we needed to was a piece of that. The other piece of that is the rapid testing that would allow us to, once again, when it was going to get exposed to the larger organization, say, we've made a decision that this is worth pursuing. Here's why we believe it's true, not just because our ability to model what the opportunity might have been, but to figure out what the risks associated with it were going to be. So once again, internal decision making totally different in that we were killing more faster before it would even get to some larger group for judgment. But one thing that I really want to share is that there are lots of people that can be hired to do lots of things. And sometimes you find people that have amazing capabilities, and that's wonderful, and you can learn a lot. And sometimes you find people with amazing capabilities and knowledge that are also amazing people. And I really feel like that's what I found when you and I started working together. You were a person that was perfectly pleasant and professional at all times and helped me develop my thinking and helped me help my company at the time and helped me have confidence with many things I've done since then. So it's not just your skills and experience that I appreciate. It is also you.